Welcome back folks, my name is LastKnownMeal and today we're gonna be talking about Cyberpunk 2077. So this is going to be my mega mod list for the game. All of these mods are updated to patch 1.6 so you won't have any issues running them. And at the same time I'm going to show you how to install the mods manually as well as to install through Vortex mod manager. The modding community for Cyberpunk has been absolutely insane. A lot of mods have been added which completely change the game and enhance what the game is. So today we're going to go through all of them because there is a lot, so let's begin. Now before we start installing any mods whatsoever, we're going to install RedMod. So RedMod is a new tool released by CD Projekt Red which allows people to mod the game, and at the same time from the user side it allows you to install those mods with ease, and it's going to solve any compatibility issues that your mods are going to have. So at the same time I'm going to show you how to install this. So go to this website and you're going to see three options here: GOG, Steam or Epic Games. So you have to download the one that you are actually using your Cyberpunk game on. So you go to GOG, click it, and you install this as a DLC, and you have to download the file and open it. Once you have it opened in the downloads, you're going to click on the setup, you're going to click yes obviously, and we're going to install the RedMod itself. And basically that's it. Once you install it, that's all you have to worry about it. Now, of course, if you do want to start modding for Cyberpunk 2077, that's going to be a video for another day, because today we're just going to focus on installing the mods themselves. So let's begin. So the first way I'm going to show you how to install mods is the manual way, which I like to do the most because it removes any potential compatibility issues. So you have to go to your Cyberpunk 2077 directory. This directory is going to be the same on GOG, Steam or Epic Games. And here you're going to have archive, bin, engine, R6 and so on. But you have to add the mods folder. If your Cyberpunk directory doesn't have the mods folder already, just create a folder and call it mods, and that's it. So now once you go to, for example, Nexus mods, and you download any mod whatsoever, you're going to get this zipped file that you can open up with WinRAR or 7-zip or whatever you actually want to use. So once you open this up, you're going to get this file, and this is going to be a bin file. As you can see on the left, we have the bin folder itself. So all you have to do in 95% of the mods is just drag and drop, and that's it. It's solved and done. Now I'm going to show you how to work with Vortex Mod Manager. This is the easier version to install all of the mods because you can actually add all of the mods with a click of the button. So for example, if we are on this mod right here, you just click Vortex and it's going to automatically add into the Vortex you install. So let's go and download Vortex itself. So now we have the Vortex installation. We're going to quickly install this. And that's it. You have the Vortex on your desktop. So now we're going to open up Vortex. If you have this thing where it says fix because you have to install additional files, just click fix and it's going to download everything that you need to have. So once this thing is done, you will be ready to mod. So once the net framework has been installed, as I showed you down below, just click OK. So now we have to basically log into the Nexus mods, and I do believe because you have to download these mods, you already have a profile. So let's go and log in, and you're going to click authorize. And now we have the agnostic usage that, you can allow or deny this, that's up to you. So now we're going to go to games and we're going to go to Cyberpunk 2077. We're going to find it here and we're going to click manage. Now this thing, we have to install the extension we're going to download, and it's going to restart Vortex itself. So if the game is not automatically discovered, you have to set the game folder manually. And we're just going to navigate to the Cyberpunk 2077 folder, click select folder. And here you can basically add any mods on top of this. So just go to website, click Vortex, and that's it. The mod is going to be added here. Now before we start installing any mods, we have to install some of the mods which other mods are going to run on top of. So those mods are going to be CyberEngine tweaks, native settings UI, Red4ext, Redscript, material and texture override, CyberCMD, input loader, TweakXL. These mods are going to serve, as I said, as a basis for other mods because other mods run on top of these ones. So if you want to install any special mods for Cyberpunk, they will ask you to install this. So it's better to do it before you even start because you're going to have all of the files ready. To use CyberEngine tweaks, for example, all you have to do is once you install it, go into your game and press tilde. The tilde button is below your escape button on your keyboard, and it's going to open up the actual console. Here you can do a lot of stuff, spawn different weapons, spawn other stuff, etc, etc, but if you don't want to do that, just leave it as is. Native settings UI, for example, is going to add a mods tab onto your menu. So once you are in the game and you click escape, you're going to see mods folder, and here you can actually have settings on mods, and if there is any mod which you installed and which has options for this, it's going to give you different settings you can play with. So now that we have installed everything we need, we're going to install AMM or Appearance Menu mod. This mod is very useful because it has a lot of functionality for your character and the game. So once you're in the game itself, we're going to press tilde again, and we're going to minimize this. This is your Appearance Menu mod right here. So for example, what you can do is change how the vehicle you actually have selected looks. All you have to do is look into the vehicle itself, press tilde, and change the actual look of the vehicle. As you can see, the vehicle is going to change. You can do this with any vehicle whatsoever. Besides that, if we go to spawn, you can actually spawn different people who can fight for you. For example, 6th Street Gang, we're going to get a gang member. Here we go. And this gang member is going to follow us and fight for us. You can also spawn all of the main characters you want from the game, etc, etc. Just be careful because sometimes things can break, so I wouldn't actually, recommend spawning every single human in the game. And besides that, you also have some other tools, like for example, select the teleport locations where you want to go, or set the time of the day, for example, as I'm doing right now. So you can just basically do it how you want to do it in general. Now the next mod I'm going to show you is called Let There Be Flight, and this is the mod which basically allows you to fly in the game itself. So once you install everything, you just go into any vehicle whatsoever, that being bike or car, but do keep in mind in the current version of this mod, there are some problems with bikes because they're going to fly away in the direction where they're not supposed to, and sometimes when you enter your vehicle is going to spawn you in a random location, so that's the current problems of the mod. So once you get inside of the vehicle, you press E. So now we're going to hold space to get up, and we're going to press Control to go down, and that's it. With this mod, you can fly in the game itself and just have fun with it. I mean, you can traverse locations a lot faster than you would on the ground itself, and it's pretty cool. On G, you can also change the actual location, the actual flight mode. So this is going to be the drone mode. Then we have hover and fly, which is the one you're going to be using up the most. Once you want to remove the actual flying, just press E again, and there we go. The actual vehicle is going to land onto the ground itself. If you want to activate it again, press E, and that's it. You can fly away and just have fun in the game. Now the next mod we're going to install is Draw Distance Boost. So what happens in Cyberpunk 2077 is that the game has issues with draw distance, where it's going to spawn things in front of you for no reason whatsoever, or it's going to have these wild LOD pop-ups where things are just going to appear out of thin air. So this mod is going to increase that draw distance. You actually see people, vehicles down there in the background, and it's not going to cause those spawning issues where you see vehicles spawning around you and it's not going to be immersive. So this is the mod I definitely recommend installing because it just makes the city more immersive and more alive overall, because you can see down here, you can see a bunch of cars and people and vehicle overall. Now the next mod we're going to install is called AI Netrunners Enhanced, and this mod is going to be working around net running damage, how people hack you and how you hack people in general. So for example, if you press tab, we're going to see the scav right here, and what's going to be happening with this is we're going to make them hostile and they're going to attack us. Now, so for example, once they start hacking us, it's going to be nice, and also we can hack them, and they're going to be doing a lot more damage than the usual. So overall, I definitely recommend installing this mod because it's going to help you, especially if you are a netrunner in this game. So the next mod we're going to install is called Level Scaling and Balance mod, and this is going to basically do what it says. It's going to fix level scaling in the game itself, so it makes enemies a lot more dangerous, and also it makes you a lot more dangerous overall. So it actually helps around if you're playing with different builds. So for example, these guys should be a lot more difficult to fight in general. For example, as you can see right here, they take a lot more damage than the usual because, you know, generally if I fire this weapon in the vanilla game, I'm going to get them in one shot, so I recommend using this mod straight away. The next mod we're going to install is going to remove all of these annoying Relic effects, which basically happen when V starts spazzing out because of the chip itself. So once you install this will actually extend the time when this happens. So it's going to be a couple of days before you actually go like and have the Relic malfunctioning, and it's not going to ruin your gameplay experience because honestly, it's happening all the time and it's a little bit annoying. So the next mod I'm going to show you how to play with is the Drone Companions mod, and this mod actually allows you to spawn in different drone companions, including androids, mechs, and robots. There's a few things we have to do first. So in order to basically craft and spawn any robots, we need to change our operating system. Now, due to the bugs in 1.6 with the mod itself, there is a chance your basically operating system is not going to spawn, but I added a way to add it in the game because down there in the description there is going to be a line you actually have to do. So just paste it over here into CyberEngine Tweaks, do this, and you're going to have the actual deck in your inventory. The mock circuit driver MK3. This allows us to have up to 3 drones, drone health increase, etc, etc. So we're going to put it right here, and there's also different mods for this operating system. So once we have that in our cyberware, we're going to go and spawn the actual robot. So we're going to go into our crafting tab and we're going to click here into drones. Do keep in mind a couple of things. You buy these things from various weapon vendors. You go into a weapon vendor in the city and you basically buy all of these blueprints. Once you have the blueprints, once you have the drone modules, which you can also buy from the weapons vendor, you can craft the actual robot. So we're going to get the, let's say, a sniper android, and we're going to craft it. There we go. He is going to spawn right here and he's going to follow us everywhere we go. You can also tab here to see every single like ability that this robot has, and that's it. He's going to be fighting for you. You can also spawn multiple robots if you want. Just go to crafting, and basically if your cyberware allows it, you can do it. So let's also spawn the Militech mech, for example, right here. There we go. He's going to also spawn itself in the game, and there we go. You have everything you need. Next mod we're going to play around is going to be Sensible Stamina and Athletics. So in the game itself, if you start sprinting, your sprint is actually going to deplete very fast. But with this mod, you're going to be able to sprint for a lot longer, and at the same time your athletic skill, for example, and everything else is going to have its skill upgraded. So basically the more you walk, the more you run, the more you sprint, the more your athletics is going to go up towards your perk points and everything else. So I definitely recommend installing this one because it's going to overhaul the entire stamina system, how you run, how you walk, how you shoot, how you use weapons, and so on. It's going to make it a lot better overall. Next mod we're going to play around with is the Ragdoll physics overhaul. So in Cyberpunk 2077, when you kill someone, they have a problem of doing all kinds of crazy ragdolls, so when they start flying away or they just die in a very stupid way. So this mod basically fixes that. So we have, for example, this guy right here, the Enforcer, and we're going to make it hostile. Now, if we kill this guy, look at how he falls. So the overall ragdoll is going to be a lot better. So even if we respawn him and we make him hostile again, and once he dies, for example, he's going to die in a much better way. For example, look at this, how he died. There's a certain logic to it, so that's why I recommend installing this one. Now, one of the must-have mods in the game is also limited HUD. For example, right here you can see I don't have that many things on the screen. There isn't any clutter. But for example, if I press my right click, we're going to have the map itself, and we're going to have the quest also. But for example, if I also pick up my weapons, you're going to see that some things on the hood are going to appear overall. So if you want to remove all of the clutter basically from your game and want to have a clean hood which you can actually play around like this with, then I recommend installing this one for sure. Now the next mod I'm going to show you is going to be always first equip animation. So every time you equip a weapon in Cyberpunk, it's going to do an animation, but once that passes, it's not going to happen ever again. With this mod, every time you pull out your weapon, or almost every single time you pull out your weapon, it's going to do like this first equip animation. It's going to make everything look cool in general. If you want to adapt how this mod works, just press escape, go into mod settings and go to first equip, and here you can change the percentage probability overall to see like how constantly your actual cooldown is going to be on this, and like how many times the weapon is going to come out with this first animation, which basically like a character does, for example here. Next mod for the game is going to be a completely standalone vehicle called Arcadia Turbo R. So once we install everything, which I showed you how to do, we're going to actually put the vehicle itself in the game. So right here we have the Arcadia, so you just go call your vehicle, you're going to see this name, and we're going to spawn it. So the vehicle right here is going to be a fully standalone vehicle. As I said, the vehicle itself is amazing, the interior of the vehicle is amazing. For example, if we look at over here, it's very nice. So now, once we start driving this, I'm sorry about the frame rate, I have a lot of mods installed and it's all over the place, but for example, this is how the vehicle works, and it's actually quite good, so I definitely recommend putting this vehicle in the game because it has those crazy cyberpunk vibes. It drives really well, as you can see right here, and it's going to be extremely fast, so I definitely recommend getting this vehicle in the first place. Now the next amazing mod we're going to install is the Metro mod in the game, which basically adds the actual Metro system or the end card system into the game. So once you install the mod, on the map itself you're going to see these things. So Metro, basically fast travel points. You arrive at any one of these. So once you arrive here, you just basically go here and enter. And once you're inside, there is going to be this short loading screen when you are in the elevator itself before it opens up. And here you are in the end card station. This is going to tell you how much time does it take for the train to actually arrive. So we're going to wait for the next one. Once we exit here, we're going to see the end card here. So we're going to wait for it to go away. And the next one should arrive in a, for example, as you can see, like 7 seconds. That's actually very good on how this mod works. And there we go, train arrived just where it's supposed to. So now we're going to enter the train itself, and by pressing Q you can actually like change how this thing is going to work, like the camera wise and all of that. So that's it. The actual end card is going to take you all around the city until the next station where you exit the station, or you just continue driving around. For example, this is how it looks. It looks amazing. It has some problems colliding with other mods, like for example with the Let There Be Flight mod, but overall it's not going to be, you know, flying away. It's going to be working the way it's supposed to. Next thing I'm going to show you how it works is going to be neon rims color control. So once basically CDPR added a way to have the neon rims with color in the game itself, people added a way to change this. So you press your tilde button the way we enter everything, and for example right here we have the wheels. So we can change this however we want, and it's going to change in the game itself. So for example, look how I move this thing, and look how the actual neon rims change in general. You can also have headlights, underglow and everything else in the game. And once we are done with this, we press save light colors and we exit, and there we go, we have the amazing neon lights the way that we want them in the game. This also applies to every other bike in the game. Now the next mod I'm going to show you is going to be more blood splatter mod. So basically in the game itself there is blood, but with this mod there is going to be a lot more. So we're going to turn this target hostile and we're going to start attacking it. So for example, right here you can see there is a lot more blood actually on the ground. Now I installed a version which has a little bit less blood, but if you go to files, you're going to see that there is a file which is going to give you a lot more blood in the game itself. So I recommend installing this one because it just makes the game overall better, and now I have to run. Next mod I'm going to show you is going to be vehicle combat mod. So in the game itself, you don't actually have an ability to shoot from vehicles yet, but with this mod, we can press Alt or the button you basically assign, and here we go, we actually have the weapon in the game itself. As you can see, you can drive with this. This also applies to bike, so you can actually have any weapon whatsoever on the bike itself. For example, right here you can see we can shoot from the vehicle. Obviously we're going to break our window, but it just works, and it's gonna be working great against different enemies you attack. Obviously you can change the weapon you have in your arm and it's going to work. It can be a little glitchy because keep in mind this hasn't been added natively, so this is how it looks. And overall I do recommend installing this one because there is going to be another mod which is going to round everything up, and there is going to be a use for vehicle combat in general. Next mod is probably one of the coolest ones you can actually get in the game, and that is finally a chance to untrack the stupid quest. So in the vanilla Cyberpunk you just simply cannot untrack a quest for some reason, so with this mod we can just do this, finally go to our map, and guess what? We don't have go to Hanako anymore or any quest whatsoever. So once you're in the game, you're not going to see that annoying notification in the side. Next mod we're going to check out is the bike control mod. So in the game itself, controlling bikes in general is a little bit problematic, but with this mod, driving bikes is actually a lot better and a lot smoother. So for example, when we drive and when we try to do this, you can see our bike is not going to start jumping around, but it's actually going to lean the way it's supposed to lean. So as we drive around, for example, and we want to turn right, the bike is going to actually turn right, and it's not going to, you know, move around or jump or bounce or anything like that. You can see driving bikes is a lot more enjoyable than it was in the vanilla game itself, so I definitely recommend installing this one, especially if you are driving the bikes all the time. Next mod we're going to install is going to be Water 2077. So the vanilla water in Cyberpunk 2077 is, well, it's lore friendly, but it's very muddy. With this mod, you can see how beautiful this water actually looks. It's going to make everything more crystal clear in the game and just make the game a lot more beautiful. So if you want a more beautiful water for your game, I definitely recommend installing this mod because as you can see, it's going to make everything look just beautiful overall. And when you're looking at it, it's going to be, as I said, crystal clear. Next mod we're going to install is going to be Wardrobe Anywhere. So before we even get into this, once it's installed, you have to go into your Cyber Engine tweaks. And this is where most things you install are going to be, especially when it comes to mods which have key bindings. So for example, here we have Wardrobe Anywhere. You just find it. And we are going to add a bind button, so you basically bind any button which you think is going to be useful for this one. I binded this one, so now wherever you basically click this, it's going to open up the actual wardrobe which you can, you know, pick and choose from in the game itself. So anywhere you go, you just press it, change your outfit, and that's it. You continue with your day. And for example, here we can see like I can change to whatever I want, like for example this one, equip it, escape, and that's it. Now I have this on me. And also an extra thing for your wardrobe is going to be more slots. So this mod is going to do just that. It's going to add a lot more wardrobe slots into your actually wardrobe, so you can have basically instead of like what 5, 6, you're going to get 14, which is a lot more than the vanilla game has to offer. Next mod is going to be the actual car dealer. So in the game itself, you don't have like the car dealer. You can buy just, you know, different cars which are offered to you by fixers, and you find them in quests and so on. But this allows you to buy a lot more vehicles which you can add into your garage. So first off, you have to install the actual car dealer and then packs of different vehicles. So for example, once you have all of that installed, which you can have in the actual description down below below the video, you just go to your PC, go to car dealer, and you start, you know, choosing them. You can change colors of some vehicles, like for example here, and you can just buy them. So for example, let's say this vehicle, we just buy it and that's it. It's going to be in our parking. So once you call your vehicle, you just call the combat cab and it's going to appear. Next mod we're going to check out is the immersive first person, and this is going to do just that. It will allow you to look at your character in the first person in general. Vanilla game doesn't really have this, but this basically allows you to look at your character, look at the outfit itself, and overall it's going to make everything a lot more immersive because this time you can see your full character like this. Next mod is going to be real vendor name. So once we go into our map and we go to, for example, anything, we're going to see that the actual shop is going to show the name of the shop rather than just saying a repair dock or a clothing store or a weapon store. This is going to tell you what is it going to be like. Here, straight shooters. Here we have the edge net. Here we have the clothing vendor, for example, which is the vanilla one. And for example, here we have Second Amendment, Coach Fred. Here we have Victor's Clinic. Here we have Instant Implants. So all of that is just going to make you, well, it's going to make a map more, how would I say, easier to navigate around. Also, a very useful thing is in your stash, there is a problem. You cannot organize your equipment that well. So right now, we're going to open up our storage and we can basically choose ranged weapons, melee weapons, clothing, consumables, attachments, and so on, which makes, you know, the stash a lot more, how would I say, organized, and it's going to make your life organized in general because you're going to be putting and taking a lot of stuff from your storage. So this just makes it a lot better and a lot more immersive. Now let's go to crafting. So crafting in the game is alright, but it needs some more things. So for example, once we have the enhanced crafting mod, we go into our crafting inventory, and here we can actually, number one, name the weapon itself, so we can have a different name if we don't want the default one itself. And here, for example, if we press T, it's going to change the variant of the weapon. So if you want a cooler weapon, the weapon to look actually better, let's say we're going to spawn, let's say we spawn this one and we name it test weapon and we craft it. It's going to appear in our inventory as a test weapon, and it's going to basically keep the skin which you applied on it. This is also very useful for clothing in general. I mean, it's good for transmog, but if you want more transmog variants, you can just use this. So for example, if we have this thing and we change the actual variant, this is what's going to happen. So it's going to change the variant into something else, and this is actually for everything, so I definitely recommend installing this mod. Next mod is going to be please stand still. So once you're, you know, looking in the mirror or just, you know, changing the appearance of your character or anything, they're going to move constantly. They're going to look at themselves, move their head, etc, etc. This mod stops all of that, so your character is going to stand in one place when you actually edit anything here. This is something which should have been a part of the vanilla game. I am not sure why developers actually are not putting this in the game itself, but you know, install this mod. Now the next mod we're going to add in the game is going to be something which doesn't seem to exist in 2077, and that is a flashlight. So once you install the mod, we're going to press tilde and we're going to enter the Cyber Engine tweaks right here. We're going to go to bindings, and here basically, as I said, all of the mods which require some sort of keybinds are going to be right here, so you can find them. So here we have the flashlight, we have the toggle flashlight button. We're going to put any random button, we're going to bind it, we're going to close all of this, and we press this button, and here we go, we have the flashlight in the game. So you just bind the button which you think is going to be the right one, and for example, we can turn it off, turn it on, there we go, it's beautiful. Finally, something which I guess no one thought about. Next thing we're going to add in the game is the pocket radio. So you have two files you need to actually install with this. This is going to be the radio mod and the pocket radio mod, which all of the stations basically. So once you have all of that, we're going to go click here and we're going to click close, and here we have the pocket radio config. And here, for example, here you can actually set which default radio station is going to play. We're going to set Pacific Dreams, for example, and here we're going to find the portable radio. So we have a few buttons here we can have, for example, activate hood, toggle radio, volume up, volume down. You set all of these binds to the buttons which you need. So for example, I'm going to bind this one. So once we get into this, we press it, and there we go. The radio is going to play, and if you want to shut it off, we press the button again. Also, as I said, you have various other binding options here which you can use. Now, if this thing doesn't want to close when you toggle anything, just click save and close it. That's it. If it doesn't close, just click save and it's going to be there. So turn on the radio, turn off the radio, simple as that. Now for this mod, we're going to be enhancing the police. So in the game itself, once you basically get the police on your back, they're going to just spawn around you, but this is actually going to add some logic. So with the enhanced police mod, for example, if we shoot next to a person, there is a chance they're going to call the police. If we look at this, they're actually calling the police. So once this is done, the police is going to actually arrive, but this time with vehicles. As you can see, the crime has been reported, police warrant has been issued. Now we're just waiting for the cops to arrive, and they should be coming right here. Look at this. They actually have people on bikes who are going to go after you. Now, of course, if you're in the city, you're going to get attacked by NCPD. If you're outside, you're going to be attacked by Militech and private security. So this is actually amazing, and if you want to get this wanted level off your back, just as always, run away and find a place to hide, and this thing is going to pass after a certain time. Here we go. And this is everything for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the mod list. Again, you have all of the links down below, so you can go mod by mod. I also actually have a collection on Nexus, so I'm going to leave you a link for that, and it has all of the mods I talked about here. And you can actually install the whole collection through Nexus mods if you want to do it that way. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and also check us out on Twitter and Discord. Also, huge thanks to the current Patreon supporters, and if you want to support the channel in an extra way, I do have a Patreon page. This is LKM signing out. Stay classy everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.